And you know what, Smitty? Because of that, I was saved by the man himself. Thank you. Thank you, Vinny. Tied 8th. And then, Smitty, you had no problems here. You're moving on just fine.
Lucas, we are in strange territory.
We've survived 2 weeks. This is what it feels like? This is cool. Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Players Meeting, a Win Dummies production powered by the ACDGC and the KDGA. I'm your host, Lucas Deal, and you've stepped up onto the tee for episode number 59. This week, we're diving into the first major of the year, Champions Cup. The course, questionable. The competition, undeniable. And the drama, high. Especially in the FPO division, where a Marshal made a foot fault call on Kristin, one that cost her a stroke and may have cost her the win. Was the timing just bad luck, or did it have a bigger impact on her game? The MPO finish, straight up fireworks, baby. A neck-and-neck battle to the last hole. Who kept their cool, and who couldn't close it out? Plus, we'll run through our weekly picks and check who's still clinging to life in our Survivor League. Some of us threaded the gap. Others, they hit first available. It's all in this episode, so stay strapped in. This is the Players Meeting, where scorecards end and opinions begin. And if you have not, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Disc and Deals Coverage. That's where you can check out all of our podcasts and some tournament coverage. We'll have the Classic in Cali and A Tier in Arc City, Winfield, Kansas, coming out very soon, so be on the lookout. Ring that bell for notifications so you never miss a single episode. But without further ado, let's bring in the real star of the show, the one-time world champ, Chris Smith, a.k.a. Smitty. Smitty, what's up, man?
Doing that thing, getting close to the end of the school year. Summertime is just around the corner, and I am ready.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's less than a month?
Oh, yeah. I got one more Monday.
That's it. Oh, wow. It's really winding down.
Yeah. Maybe I'll sleep until at least 6:45.
Oh, you crazy man.
That'd be an extra hour, man.
Oh, yeah. You're crazy with how early you get up. Yeah, hey, did you get involved in any disc golf action this weekend?
Well, yeah, of course. I was always involved in disc golf every day, basically. I went down to Hutch, played the Salt City Open at Orchard Park, an interesting little course there in town. Came out with the MP40 victory. So
you also had the best score out of everyone that played, though, right? I
did have the low score on the day, which it's hard to tell what would have happened had I been in their division. But I'm pretty good at those little weird shots, if you didn't know that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Are you playing Toodle Toss?
Yep.
Oh, I can't wait for some weird shots. Hey, did that count towards your victory total, or was that unsanctioned?
Unsanctioned.
Man, if you counted all those unsanctioned wins, you'd be at 200 by now.
Oh, 200 of those.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because probably even earlier in your career, did you play more unsanctioned than actual PDGA events?
There were very few sanctioned PDGA events. Everything was a KDGA, and I probably played 20 to 25 of those a year.
And won the majority?
Won a lot, but there was a lot.
Back in your heyday, too.
Yeah, but there's a lot of good players when I was good advanced early pro player. Like, I don't know. You ever heard of Eric McCabe?
Never heard of him.
He played a lot of those events. Chad Garrison was always there. He was really good. And just a whole laundry list of dudes that are very good.
All right. So Saturday you did that. What about Sunday? Anything?
Yep. my dude Mike Bailey and I went out to Cessna and put all the wraps on the baskets. They look fantastic.
They looked awesome.
Only found one screw up, so we're going to have to get one remade, and we'll get that done and slapped on there. We also, after a little bit of a long discussion, I guess I should say, pretty sure we're moving hole 17's tee pad because I don't like the way that
it goes into hole 10.
Into 10 and how 10 comes into it. I think that's a disaster. So that we're moving that for sure. And we looked at some different options on hole 11, maybe to not make it a little bitty tiny hole.
Okay. All right. That's cool. Any changes to hole 3?
Not yet. It needs to be longer. That's for sure.
All right. Well, I'll tell you this, Smitty. I also got into some action this weekend. I played my first and probably only tournament I'll play this year. So I got to play Linear Park Open on Sunday. Not as exciting as you. I didn't get a win. I did shoot a 989 round, which was pretty good. I just had pretty much a ho-hum first round. So took down second. Happy with that. Hit a putt at the end to make that happen. But it was cool to get out and play. I'm usually behind the camera filming, so it's cool to get those competitive juices flowing a little bit.
And you got to meet a Wind Dummies fan that you didn't ever know.
Yeah, I did. So that was cool. All in from Louisville. Is that what he said he was from?
Well, he used to live in Pratt, and he was back for a funeral, and they were headed to Iowa to see a grandma. And then they live somewhere in the South. I forget exactly where. Louisiana, I think.
Oh, Louisiana. Okay. I think I just heard. Yeah. I was in the middle of, mindset was tournament mode. But yeah, that was pretty cool.
But he was really excited. He met me there to pick up some Frisbees. He used to play all the time. He kind of lost the bug, and he got back into it. He started watching our pod. He loves it.
That's cool.
And I just said, well, Lucas is out there. When I said Lucas is out there, he's like, what? Where? So
yeah, I think I missed a birdie putt right in front of him, so that was cool.
You did.
Yeah. I'm sorry, dude. I should have made that one. It's because I didn't have that many.
Little Joe the Pro.
Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, lots of fun weekend for us with disc golf. But Smitty, we also had some really fun stuff happening in California with the Pro Tour. So let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah, let's do.
Yeah, let's start where we always start. What's poppin'? What's been happening around the world of disc golf? And this week, Stockton, California, Champions Cup. And there was some good battles on both sides. Before we jump in, Smitty, to the performances, we already talked a little bit during the preview about this course, about how it's not wooded, completely different than what we've had in the past for Champions Cup. I want to know what you felt about the course and how it played for this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. There's not a lot of memorable holes on the course, I don't think. It's not my favorite course to watch or to even look at. But I tell you what, it did its job. It was tough. The finishing stretch, the back nine, if the wind is out of the wrong direction, that thing is incredibly hard. We saw the best players in the world going out of bounds all the way in. And yeah, I mean, I would rather watch them play in the woods and shape shots, but I think Leonard Muse, I think that's who designed it, did an awesome job because every hole was challenging. There was no easy way to play any of them. I liked the use of Mandos, not to protect people, but to define the line, and you're not getting a lucky shot through there. If you miss the Mando, you've missed it. So yeah, I thought that was fine.
Do you think the use of Mandos, though, on something like that, where you can't predict the wind, on a wooded course, when you make lines, you're probably not going to get a ton of wind going through there, so it's easier to shape the shots. Do you still like the use of Mandos, even though the wind is going to be very high at that course?
Yeah, I think that without that course, these guys are throwing off the middle, the back corner of the tee pad, and they're just hyzering everything. And these Mandos actually force them to throw some tight gaps that if there wasn't a Mando there's no way they're doing it. For example, like hole 14, I think they're up on the hill and they had a little Mando they got to go left of the tree that's down on the right.
Mm-hmm.
If that Mando's not there, they have no worries. They just crush down there.
Yeah. No, I agree. I like the use of the Mandos. The wind is just so unpredictable that it does make things a little bit tougher. Now, do you like this course for Champions Cup?
I don't really care about that. I mean, it didn't really feel like a major to me.
That's what I felt.
And I think that outside of Worlds, moving around and around, I think USDGC and I feel like European Open in the past and still now because they still went to the Beast, I think those feel like majors because we're always going there. We're familiar with everything. It's got history. I think that's important to a major is what's happened in the past and who's going to be the next one to do it. And if this thing just bounces around all the time, I think it's going to have a hard time ever having any kind of history.
Yep, completely agree.
One other thing about the course that I didn't like, I think it's just too repetitive. So many baskets just feet from the water. I mean, does it make it exciting? Does it make it hard? It does, but so many times, like Paul going OB on 18 from a missed putt, that was bad. But, I guess on the other side of the coin, how many just killer drop zone putts did they make?
Oh, God, I know.
40 feet dead square at water and just banging them.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, it was a great weekend of disc golf. I don't like this course for Champions Cup. I think it definitely is a course that needs to be on tour. I think it definitely challenges player, especially when that wind is up. But maybe not for Champions Cup. Champions Cup needs to have a history. They need to put it somewhere and they need to keep it there. All right, let's look at some of these results, Smitty. As you know, we had some battles, but in the end, some champions were made, some major champions. We have Missy Gannon, big money Missy here on the left. And then we have now a 4-time major champion, Isaac Robinson, which is pretty crazy to think about considering how young that dude is.
He's only been on the tour 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's amazing. I mean, that quote from Dixon Jowers last year's just rings true. You watch him all year, you know how he ever wins, and then you watch him at a major and you don't know how he ever loses. I mean, this dude was a killer.
Yeah.
Down the stretch. So we'll probably talk about the dudes a little bit here after we blab about the gals a little if you want.
Yeah, let's talk about the women.
Perfect. Let's move on to the men. Good job, Lucas. No, we got to spend some time.
Yeah, Smitty, there are some good battles, and of course, a lot of controversy this week in the FPO. So let's look here down the stretch. Missy, she did what she had to do to get the win. Kristin kind of imploded shortly after maybe a call that maybe didn't need to be made. We'll talk about that here in a second. Paige was in contention for a little while as well. She finishes 3rd. And Silva, who had the lead at one point, ends up 4th.
2 rounds. She was the leader after 2 rounds. She looked unstoppable. And to quote Ronnie, pressure burst pipes.
Yep.
She, over that last round, she lost her superpower. She was just a normal putter and not a very good one at that point. So that was too bad for her. I really felt like she was just going to boat race and just leave them in the dust after the first couple rounds.
Yeah, and I was surprised because we talked about how this was a bomber's paradise. And we see Missy Gannon winning, who's not a bomber, and then Silva, who was in major contention most of the tournament to win, she's not a bomber either. So
yeah, we say that, but I think they both throw farther than 80% of the gals on the tour, and they're far better players than the majority of them. But yeah, just looking here, Missy was 5 back after the first round of Silva. She was in 5th place. Hannah Wynn was up there with them. And then Paige and Kristin were there right off, after the first round. Then round 2, it became just these 4 gals the rest of the way out. It was just the 4 of them duking it out, and it could have been any of them. After the what was it after the second round? It was, why can't I see the totals? There we go. Silva was at 17, Paige at 14. The other 3 were at 14. So it was just 3 strokes after 2 rounds. After 3, that's when Missy put the pedal to the metal and went
she did.
10 down, jumped into a 3-stroke lead over Kristin, 4 over Paige, and Silva only went even, gave up 10 strokes in 1 round to big money. So, and then in the final round, Silva could only scrap a 1 down, but the other gals weren't incredibly under par.
No.
They were 2 for Paige, 3 for Missy, and 4 for Kristin. And Missy threw out of bounds, I feel like, on purpose on 18, just to make sure she was safe left.
She had the strokes to work with.
Mm-hmm. That she did. So, yeah, it was a great tournament on the ladies' side. A lot of good golf by these 4 top gals. And, I mean, I guess we might as well get into it now because there's
a lot of talk. But before we do, I just want this whole tournament for the FPO is going to be overshadowed by what we're about to talk about. And I don't want to take anything away from Missy and her performance, and just want to say she did a great job. People are going to say there's an asterisk for this tournament, and I don't think so at all.
Yeah. No, this isn't like throw pink when they had the weird out of bounds call. Missy won this tournament, and she likely would have won it even without the foot fault call. She had the lead at that point, though Kristin was charging. But yeah, I'm not going to say that foot fault or stance violation was the reason she won.
Yeah, so here we go. Let's talk about it. And I agree with you here, Smitty, that momentum was turning to Kristin. So the timing of this is probably the thing that makes this the toughest, and maybe a few other things. So
you were busy when this was going down. Have you watched the replay of the last few holes?
I am so in on this, Smitty, right now, and I have so many things I want to talk about here.
Okay.
So yes, I'm very up to snuff on this. Before we get into this, I want to just make sure for everyone that's watching that may have not heard, there was a call made for a stance violation or a rules violation by Kristin where her plant foot stepped on the disc, and because of that, the disc hadn't left her hand, and there was a penalty called. Now, this was not called by any player. This was called by a marshal that was on the card. Before we jump into the call itself, I want to talk about the role of a marshal. Okay, Smitty? And I want you to tell me, when you think about a marshal in disc golf, what is their responsibility? What should their role be? And I want to hear what your thoughts are here.
You ready now?
Yeah.
Well, the first thing when this was all going down and internet was just out of control, pissed at this guy for making this call, I instantly thought back to DDO or GBO, whatever it was called last year, when the same thing happened. Somebody threw out of bounds. That time though, a player called it and the marshal didn't have any clue. And at that point, we were saying, maybe they need a marshal on every hole. Maybe they need a marshal on every card. Well, if he's there and he's the big guru of the rules and he saw a foot fault, then he needs to call it, I think, if he's got that power and training and whatever else. So I think that as bad of timing as it seemed, and the fact that it went against everybody's favorite woman player, this guy's probably getting a bad rap for doing what he has thought was the right thing. Maybe. Maybe. Did
Yeah.
you hear what he told Kristin?
Yes, and we'll get into that. So
Okay.
First I want to talk about how I feel about a Marshal, right? So as we know, disc golf built on self-governing, right? Players make calls all the time. Players make calls. And if they can't agree, that's when I feel like a Marshal should step in, right? Marshals are technically allowed to make unprovoked calls, right? They absolutely can, but they rarely ever do it until now. And that's why this is such a big deal, because it's the timing of it, the fact that we've had Marshals on cards before that just never make calls like this. So that was in itself part of the problem. I think the issue above that is the fact that Marshals only follow the top cards. And so that means that some players are under a different level of scrutiny for playing well. And so if you're not going to put Marshals on every hole, then they shouldn't be making calls unless asked, unless the card can't agree and they need someone else. Now, we also saw this with Johnny McRae in the playoff, where a Marshal was on the card, but they weren't paying attention. So the Marshal still has to pay attention if they're not going to make a call. But that's where I feel like I don't truly know the role. Are they supposed to be making those calls? Or are they a backup if the players need them? And I don't know that answer for sure. And so I think that's the first part of this. If that's going to be the case and they are making calls, they absolutely need to be consistent. And they're not, because we know the round before, someone else stepped on their disc with a Marshal on the card, and it was not called. So the consistency piece of this is tough. Now, let's talk about Kristin's foot fault in general here, Smitty. Like I said, I have so much I want to unpack here. I'm a little hot with this one. So we know Kristin was making a push late. The call was made completely unprovoked. Did that single stroke shift the momentum? I think it did. Now, do I still think Missy would have won? Probably. The part that we were about to talk about, Smitty, the thing that you were going to tell me is the biggest piece of this foot fault with Kristin is the fact that the Marshal, when confronted, didn't know for certain if the disc was out of her hand. He's like, I can't see both at the same time. Then why make the call? That's the biggest piece here, that he couldn't back it up with 100% certainty. How did you feel when she talked to the Marshal after? And that, now, have we heard from the Marshal in this, or is that just what you read from Kristin?
I don't think you're going to hear from the Marshal. I heard from Missy today on Staggered Stance as well. She said exactly what Kristin's post said. Maybe she read the post. Maybe that's what she went with. Maybe she heard it. I don't know. But before we get into that, I think you made a good point when you said, what's the role of a Marshal? Maybe that's their first thing they need to do. Do these guys, are they there to call the rules, or are they there to help enforce the rules and make calls based on the rule book itself? So I don't know. I mean, it does suck that just the top card or top two cards have a Marshal, or the Marshal doesn't come until there's about ready to be a fight on a card or something weird. But okay, so what was your question? I forgot.
So my question was, what did you feel about the fact that the Marshal could not back up his claim after making the call? Do you think at that point it was a stupid call to make?
Well, it's like in basketball when you see an official blow the whistle and boom, give the charge or the block call. They've been trained that when they make the call, right? And
Yeah.
this guy made the call, and then he wavered in his decision. So that makes him look bad. If he makes it, he's got to own it. He's got to, even if he doesn't truly know that the disc was out of his hand, he say the disc was out of your hand, and the disc was in your hand, and you moved your disc. Nobody in real time could tell if that disc was out of her hand. when I made this screenshot here, this is right off of the video, and I cannot, for the life of me, get a picture. I tried for 5 minutes to get a picture between the middle picture and the right picture. I can't find an in between where the disc is barely out of her hand, and that frisbee's moving. It is. I mean, it is that close. So, and what really sucks is she's in the middle of a wide open fairway, and she didn't intentionally do it. I don't feel like she didn't gain an advantage by doing it. It's like the guy who toes his mini. You know, he's got his mini down and he putts, and when he putts, the front of his mini stands up.
Yeah.
I've
done it.
I don't think the guy's gaining an advantage by doing that. I don't even think he knows that he's doing it most of the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's tough. And, I mean, the same thing with Paige. Paige's is the same thing. She planted behind the disc, and as she braced and pivoted through, her foot came around and hit the front of the disc. And hers is probably more egregious than Kristin's. That disc goes flying when Paige did it.
Oh, yeah. You know what I see in a more egregious one? This one right here.
Yeah. He stepped on it.
Yeah.
And once again, he didn't gain an advantage by stepping on that disc.
No, he actually probably made the shot harder.
Yeah. But this was the most obvious of the three at this tournament that came up. And, yeah, it's tough, man. It's too bad that this is what the focus is going to be on the ladies' side, because it really was a pretty good battle. Kristin just banged a huge putt just right before all this went down. I mean, it was a sick putt.
Yeah, it was.
And when she threw this forehand and got called, she wasn't in a great position after that either.
No.
So, but I think she still would have gained a stroke on Missy, and it would have been one or tied up going into 18. So it would have been a little bit tougher, but yeah.
I think it played such a role mentally, I think. And I think that's the bigger problem. And I think it really gets messy because footballs happen like this constantly. We just showed 2 examples in the same tournament other than Kristin's, but only Kristin got dinged. Why? Because a Marshal just happened to be on her card. Meanwhile, other violations that are happening all over, and they're going uncalled. And so when Marshals only shadow these top cards and they make calls, it creates a system where enforcement is random, unfair. It looks like favoritism by the Marshal. Kristin didn't do anything that's unique. She just happened to be watched. And honestly, what I don't think people are going to talk about here, because they're going to talk about the Marshal, I want to talk about why that Marshal's there. I think it's the responsibility here lies on the players who suck and don't have accountability for watching the other people on their card. They don't watch for infractions. And since they don't, that's why the Marshal's there in the first place.
Well, I don't think they would watch for an infraction here because they don't anticipate one happening because she's in the middle of the fairway. Now, if she's in a bush or off the fairway, I would assume they'll pay a little closer attention. I know that if I'm playing you and you're in the middle of the fairway and my shot's over here to the right and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do, I'm not focused in on exactly what you're doing. I'm going to assume that you're going to try and play by the rules. But after listening to you talk on here for the last few months, you probably are going to kick your disc.
But at the end of the day, we're not watching that because it's not that big of a deal. You're not gaining any advantage for a centimeter of touching your mini. And that's why you're not staring at that and scrutinizing that. And that's why until you're going to have a Marshal on every hole, Marshals, shut up, because I think it's such a bad look here, Smitty. It's just such a bad look. This isn't just about one foot fault. It's about the system itself and the trust in the system, and rules need to be applied to everyone consistently, or it just is such a bad look. All right. That's all I want to say. I'm a little hot with it. I'm not even a huge Kristin fan other than I love her graces. She's a phenomenal player. But I wasn't rooting for her or anything here.
She's the only one I like.
Very good. But yeah, okay. That's all I want to say about this. And of course, this is going to be overshadowed by the play. But let's get to the man here, Smitty.
Let's do it.
Thanks for bearing with me there. But I think some of that needed to be addressed. All right. Talk about a performance. It's a major. And so we know Isaac Robinson going to be in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
So
that he is.
Smitty, talk to me about this dude's performance down the stretch and the way that he plays. There's something about it, man, that just is so exciting to watch.
Yeah, the putt on hole 17 was a thing of beauty. You know, he blew it past the hill and he was 45 foot looking up at the putt. AB was in the clubhouse with a killer score.
Mm-hmm.
And man, he just drained that sucker like it was nothing. You know, I would have been, oh God, still over that. Just watch that. I'm sure he's nervous.
Yeah, it's crazy how fast he plays. It just really is. And especially in the wind, how he plays still that fast and just steps up. The most casual putter I think we've ever seen that strikes the heart. And it's just so fast. Now, Smitty, I want to tell you, I recorded you at Indian Rock. You play fast, but only when you're pissed. You don't do it all the time. This dude is consistently like that. And it's amazing to watch. His putt, I mean, it's so quick, effortless, and he can bang it in from anywhere, it seems.
Mm-hmm. That's the scoop on him is when it comes major time, this dude is an assassin.
Yeah. And you know who he assassinated, Spitty? The guy that was leading the whole tournament after the first round, who shredded in an amazing 14 under. I thought there was no looking back for the GOAT himself. But Smitty, that final round, I don't even think we saw Paul Macbeth. We saw a shadow of Paul Macbeth. What did we see there? What did we witness?
Yeah, that was weird, man. He 14 down first round, looked like he was back, killing everything. Second round, outside of the six to end the round, he shot slow start, but he shot really well.
Yeah, he made a good round out of it.
Yeah, and he had a little stumble in the middle. He went 6-4 on 12 and 13. And then he had that terrible putt on 18 to go out of bounds. And he was tied. You know, after the second round, third round, he did not fare too well, dude. One down. This dude got to 14 down after the first round and finished the tournament at what? Do you know?
18.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that right?
Down. It was like 4 strokes. 15.
15, okay.
15 down.
So one better than his first round performance.
Crazy, isn't it?
That's insane. Smitty, that final round, I've never seen Paul look that uncomfortable putting. It was like almost like he had the yips.
Well, his putter was phenomenal the first 2 rounds. And I don't know what was going on with him. I mean,
he was missing 20 footers.
This dude's got pressure that you and I probably don't understand.
No.
On him.
Yeah.
You know, because of the major drought and they trying to catch Kenny with majors and the GOAT talk. And
yeah, it's true.
Terrible last year, didn't win. But, hey, man, he was in it. Disc golf's awesome when he's in it. I still feel like he's going to win one this year.
Yeah, I thought that was the one to get for him as far as the major was concerned. Especially with the way he started out, I thought for sure, man, that last round though, it just made me feel sorry for him, and I don't like feeling sorry for the GOAT.
I don't feel sorry for him. I was going to look at his stats a little bit here if I can.
Yeah, look at his putting stats, and let's see.
9 of 12 from C1.
That's it?
75%, and 3 of 9 in C2.
Huh. Well,
8 OBs.
Well, that didn't help.
No, that didn't help at all.
It just seemed like he missed some putts that he usually makes, but that's not as many misses as I thought.
You want to know why Isaac Robinson won this tournament other than being a killer putter? 3 OBs the entire tournament.
Yeah, he was lacing drives, man. He was putting himself in great positions. And that's what that dude can do too. He can hit lines with the best of them.
Yep. Keeping it clean and not getting the bonus strokes is going to help you out. But yeah, it's too bad Paul faltered. It was fun watching him while it was good. I think he'll be in the mix again.
Yeah, for sure.
Didn't hear much about this cat, Daddy.
Nope, we did not. But you know what?
Quietest 4th place ever?
Always. It's always. He's always a top 5. It doesn't matter. It's amazing the way that he can battle and persevere. And even when you don't hear about him, he's still finishing top 5. He's just a great talent, man.
Coming down the stretch there, he threw one out of bounds. And I needed to go get a drink, so I texted Ronnie. Easy make. And I left and got a drink, and I came back, and Ronnie's like, messaged me, bro, you're like almost a minute ahead of me. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, Gannon. I didn't even know he made it. And it was like one of these death putts into the water, and he banged it.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah, I just don't think he's ever going to miss. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think he's amazing, but I'm not rooting for him because I think he's just going to ruin disc golf if he wins everything.
Yeah, I'm happy he's not winning as much, but he's
Plus, I picked him for my stink for the year.
Oh, yeah. Well, so far so good. He's not winning a lot.
Yeah, really quiet 4th place, but the dude was lurking, man. He was there.
Yeah, he was
ready to pounce. Who else do we have? What about this guy?
Sully. Yeah, he played really well. That final round a little late. He didn't have it all together. But
he played fantastic in the 3rd round to jump into the lead.
Yeah, like really, really good, fantastic.
And then he absolutely parked the first hole, and I thought, oh, this dude is gonna go off. And then he kind of struggled until late in the round, and great finish for him, man. Tied for 5th.
His highest finish ever. So
yeah,
he's a youngin' too, and it was kind of cool to see on that lead card 2 DGA guys. You had Sully and you had Marweed.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So putter was a little shaky.
That last round, he missed some pretty short ones.
Forehand was ridiculous.
God, so nasty. It's so good.
Yeah, so maybe this will build some confidence in him, and maybe we'll see him a little bit more, or maybe this track just suited his game better than anything else. I guess we'll find out, right?
Yep.
So I don't have too much more to say about Sully, but awesome job getting T5.
Yep. Got to give some kudos. This guy balled out.
Did you see the 700-foot roller?
Yeah, I did. Oh, yeah, I did. Believe me, 500 of it in the air. What the hell is this guy doing?
Ridiculous. And this is the guy, man. This is the one that can take down Gannon when Gannon's on. Mm-hmm. I can't wait till we see both of these two dudes on the same weekend. They're going to lap the field like Paul and Eagle did at the European Open a few years ago. If lapping the field is still a thing.
Yeah, dude. He played a really fantastic tournament. kind of sad that he didn't get the victory, but Isaac was too good down the stretch. But he did all he could do from the chase card to put himself in a position to win that final round.
Man, there was a point in that final round where I didn't have a dude that I was rooting for. You know, there was some guys in the mix that I didn't want to win. And then out of nowhere, all those guys disappeared. And it was like, man, at this point, I don't care who wins. I like them all.
There was, I think, 10 people at one point that had, maybe even more, that had shots at winning.
Yeah. And then, you know, there's one other dude that we didn't give any props to here, but we sure talked crap on him last week.
I was going to mention him too. I was going to apologize publicly. So there he is. Andrew Presnell, I said he had no chance in hell of repeating. And this dude goes ahead and gets a top 10 at a course that is not suited to his game. And he went out there and played really good disc golf, Smitty.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an incredible and shocking finish. Like, the only one probably more shocking is Sully being ahead of him.
Yeah. I mean, that was really, really impressive. So kudos to you, Prezi, and I apologize for saying that you had no chance because you showed me.
He's a dog, man. He's a dog. So, yeah. Well, that was a fun major for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And we got another one, Lucas.
Yeah, we do. Some of the oldies.
The old boys. And this is going to be interesting, and I hope there's some post-production of it because it's not just the oldies. Well, they're oldies, but
some new oldies.
Yeah. We got Kale, Nate, Big Germ.
Yep.
Steve Brinster. There's 3 USDGC champions on this list right here.
Dude, it's just crazy. It's crazy that Nate's there. You know, Nate's gonna be playing. I mean, this is gonna be cool.
Yeah. It'll be a lot of fun to watch if there's coverage. And I got my money on Kale out of this crew for sure. I think Kale is probably the one of them that's the most active in disc golf right now.
Give me Sexton.
You'll take him?
I'll take him.
I haven't seen him do anything all year. I haven't seen him even play. So I don't know if he's injured or what's going on.
His body feels great.
Yeah, hopefully. And it's somewhere. It's in New Mexico, so little mountain golf. So that I was shocked that Joe Revere wasn't there, but
yeah.
Anyhow, that'll be fun to see who shakes out on that. I'll take Kale, and then in the 50s, I'll take Schwebe.
Well, I'm with you.
Although there's some dudes there. Patrick Brown has several world titles. Chris Sprague has played in Final Nines at NP 40 Worlds. JD's got almost 200 PDJ wins.
Oh.
And then my dude on that list, Michael Woody. Best mustache in disc golf, man.
Oh, okay.
So awesome. And such a cool cat. So, yeah, I met him last year at Worlds and instantly became a huge Woody fan. So
love it.
That's why I had to go down to one more person than Sergio there just to make sure. So, yeah, that'll be fun to play out, and we'll kind of, I guess, see what happens with it. What a bunch of crap.
So they just took it down?
No, that wasn't it at all.
What happened?
Only Disc Golf Pro Tour events are part of this. And since this was a PDGA major and not part of the Disc Golf Pro Tour, so to say, that it wasn't, they didn't give us any betting lines.
Well, that stinks.
Yep. I'm sure it's not far from probably going all majors. And I mean, because don't you want the world championships? And
yeah.
to be part of it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
but I wonder how much money they made, or did they lose that first couple weeks of?
They didn't lose. They didn't lose.
Well, you lost some money.
I lost. Tyson lost. Everybody I know lost.
All right.
So they know what they're doing enough to not get in trouble. That's for sure.
Do you want to look at our picks from last week? I don't really want to. We can probably just skip it.
No, we better spend some time looking at it. Well, let's start with the stinks. You good with that?
No.
Okay. Well, you took Austin Turner because he's been playing so good and he's going to play bad here.
He didn't play good at OTB. He had a bad first round. He was in 62nd place or something. I was like, oh yeah, Lucas, you know what you're doing, baby.
And I went little Nick because he's been playing good and I didn't think he could continue that. And, well, how did it shake out? 14th, man. That is so good. You know what else is good? 21st.
Yeah. I think yellow for you here, Smitty.
No way, brother. My game. No, the reason I get a green is because Nick is averaging 16.5 and he finished 21st, and Austin is averaging 17th and got 14th. He shot better. That's kind of a reverse curse.
Yeah, you're welcome, Austin.
Then we went sleepers, and I went with the bird. I was feeling the bird.
Yeah.
You went Gavin Rathbun.
Yeah, I was ready to flip you the bird.
Yeah, well, you probably should have. Because your boy didn't make the cut.
Oh man, this is just embarrassing.
And Wind Dragon got a top 15. He looked pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, he looked good. He looked fine. He looked a little bit better than Gavin.
Yes, he did. Okay, so that brings us down to our shines. And I thought you were going to get annihilated here. And I thought I was going to pick the winner.
I did too.
But your dude, Vinny, battled back like a bad man.
Yeah, I did.
But not enough. Because Shine, we only care about winning. Lucas, it happened. We got our first triple green.
You know what this means?
Tell me. I forgot.
I don't know. I was going to make something up.
I think it means ice cream.
All right. From now on, it means ice cream.
Starting right now.
Starting after this week.
Right now, today.
After the greens have settled.
You can buy me ice cream next time you see me.
Can't wait.
Yeah, and that'll be in 2 weeks when we make our next picks.
Yeah, that was not a good showing from me.
No.
But what's new? My pick for Shine wasn't terrible thanks to Vinny's final round, but the other picks, garbage. God, I suck. I'm so bad at this.
I'll tell you what, dude, there was a lot of people more happy than you are to see Vinny pull it out that last round.
You're right, Smitty, because here it is, the Survivor League. And I'm telling you, Smitty, Calvin just made the cut. He was in 32nd after the third round and then went off the final round to move into 8th. And you know what, Smitty? Because of that, I was saved by the man himself. Thank you. Thank you, Vinny. Tied 8th. And then, Smitty, you had no problems here. You're moving on just fine.
Lucas, we are in strange territory.
We've survived 2 weeks. This is what it feels like? This is cool.
I think I've used my 2 horses. I guess I still have Calvin.
Yeah, you do. You do. He's a scary pick. I'm going to let you know now. I was sweating bullets. But, Smitty, we did have to say goodbye to a few people this week. 4 to be exact. So let's take a look at this. All right. So Schmidt, Daniel G, safe. Picked Gannon. Hot Dogs went Chris Dickerson, and Hot Dogs got 8 up. Tied for 28th. Loft. The funny thing is, I'm going to tell you this right now. This is how bad I am at this game. Loft sent me his pick, and I'm like, are you sure that's who you want to go with, dude? I was like concerned for him, and the dude wins the tournament. This is how sucky I am at this. So, yeah, great pick, Loft. Sean. The dude led the tournament, and then at the very end goes off the top of the basket OB on 18 to lose a couple more strokes to drop him out of the top 15.
You know what's the funniest about that? After round 1, Sean made that post.
Yeah.
Posted the screenshot, talking some trash. That didn't age well, did it?
And then Nick G went AB with you. He's safe. And Little Tex, he gone again. He went Little Nick and tied 21st. Just isn't quite good enough. He's gone. Let's see who else was sweating with me this week. Cooey, Tyson M, Patsy, Junod, Noffer, all safe. Thank you, Vinny, for helping us. You know what? Jay Zimmy went with the Gavin effect, missed the cut, finished top, tied 59. He's gone.
See ya. All these great players, and you go Gavin Rathbun.
In the second week of the league, and you go Gavin, this little silly guy. You know what? Anson, by the shin of his teeth, tied for 14th.
I haven't watched Simon's final vlog, but I'm looking forward to it. The first 3 have been bangers for sure.
Yep, I need to watch it too. And then Rick, top 5. So Shafe, Tyson, Brett, Campa, Jib, Ryan C, all safe.
And you have a record of who we picked, right?
Of course, yeah. I'll post that up, but we won't need picks until
next week.
Next week. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that's fun. We got a lot of people in there, and I don't know what the Cascade Challenge holds. I don't know what course that is. I don't know. Is that Glendoveer? Is that in Portland?
It's Glendoveer, and I think it combines Glendoveer with the Portland one. There's another one. Is there another Glendoveer? Is there 2 at Glendoveer?
I don't know.
Okay. I know Glendoveer is part of that. Yeah.
Cool. Well, give me Rick.
You can't say that, Smitty. Don't give people.
Have you? Rick.
Okay. Well. All right. You got Rick.
No, I might change my mind.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, Smitty. I think we have one more thing, don't we?
We do. Welcome to Big Deal, the segment of the show where Lucas takes a deep dive into things that everyone is talking about, or maybe they're not saying a word. Whether they deserve the hype and truly are a big deal, or just a total overblown big deal, bro. Get ready for some hot takes, sarcastic commentary, and a little bit of drama, because in this segment, we'll decide whether it truly is a big deal.
USA.
Lucas, these guys went in and stomped a mud hole in the Euros. Absolutely destroyed them. 13 in a row, I think. Mm-hmm. A lot in a row. Nobody watched it because it was on Disc Golf Network, not on YouTube. You had to be a subscriber. Number 1, Lucas, big deal. that USA won yet again. And is it a big deal that it wasn't free for people to consume?
Smitty, thank you so much for the question. Let me tell you right now, this is the biggest big deal, bro, I've ever seen. No one cares. I mean, zero people care. I don't even think the players playing cared.
Oh, they cared.
They cared, all right. They knew they were going to win. They ho-hummed it up there. You saw the match play. They didn't even try. The thing is, here, Smitty, this is, until they start actually acting like this is an event that matters, no one's going to care about it. And this is an afterthought. We talked about it last week. This is the fact that this isn't free is stupid. It's still just a big deal, bro. They don't want people to see this. I don't know why, but they're not making it free. They're making it on a Wednesday. They don't even act like they want people to see this thing. This thing is the biggest big deal, bro, ever. Afterthought. Forget this thing. Make it better. You're better than this. There's some cool formats that could happen here.
Nobody knows what's happening. Nobody knows when it's happening. Nobody knows who's on the team. Big deal, bro.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah. Forget it. See ya. Just take it away. It's like you're asking. Now, if Europe wins, that's a whole different story. But they ain't going to. We USA, baby.
They got a while.
Yeah.
Unless they add more women, and then we're screwed.
Yeah. The women are good there. All right. So,
Well, 5 of them are.
Well, I will say.
Well, 4 of them.
I was surprised. Evelina played better than Kristin, and Holland played better than Kristin in the stroke play. And Rick was the worst in his pool, which was also shocking. So I was just looking at scores. I didn't even watch it, but just looking at scores, I was like, oh, that's interesting. But whatever. Big deal, bro. Smitty, we wrapped up episode number 59. Tell me, you got any shout-outs for the week?
Yeah, of course. Got to give a shout-out to Darren Bottom and that whole crew for organizing and running the event that we talked about earlier. I got to give a shout out to the 80 people who are coming to my event at Tuttle Creek this Saturday. We filled that puppy up this week, as well as the next week. We're filled up at Derby at the Fling, and registrations are coming in for the Toodle Toss. It's like at 34, 35 now, with 2 weeks to go. So we'll get a few more there. And then, of course, Mike Bailey for coming out and helping me. Well, he pretty much put the wraps on. I just kind of acted like I was doing something.
Was that easy?
It was easier this time than it was at Millbrook.
You guys are pros now?
We're pros. We're basket wrapping machines. So, no, I think it'll be cool when people figure out that the wraps actually mean something at Cessna. That if it's a white wrap, you're playing the classic course. If it has white on it and red both, then you're playing a basket that's used on both courses, and the numbers are on there. And if you're playing to a red basket, it's just on the classic or the championship course only. I think it's such a cool idea. Crispin did a great job with the wraps, the little airplane type theme, aviation theme, and man, they're good. It's fun.
Yeah, they look sick. I don't have any real shout-outs other than my card mates for this weekend. You all know who you are. I'm very excited I got to play with you all. It's cool to play a tournament, and it's just always a good time. Always a good time getting out there and shooting some disc, even if you aren't playing your best. But I'm going to tell you this right now. Just accepted an offer on our home. We also got accepted for our offer on a home, so we're officially going to be moving in June, and we'll be residents of Park City.
Oh.
Pat McLean, the new home course, baby.
That's exciting and heartbreaking at the same time.
No doubt about it. All right, my man, we did it. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'd love to hear from you, as always. So please drop a comment. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye now.
Later.
Mm-hmm.